Hey everyone, it's Danielle with the Victorious Planner and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, we are going to be cooking up a delicious Ketovore taco casserole. So stay tuned. So first up, I'm going to share with you the ingredients that will go into this Ketovore taco casserole. Now keep in mind, you can also make this a carnivore taco casserole by leaving out a few of the ingredients. Also, I want you to know that the full recipe for this taco casserole will be in the description of this video, so go ahead and check it out there. And then also check out the description if you want to see the timestamps for this video so that you can jump around throughout this video as you need to. All right, the ingredients in our Ketovore taco casserole. You will need 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 packets of taco seasoning, or if you make your own homemade taco seasoning, you'll need 4 tablespoons of the homemade taco seasoning. Half an onion, 12 eggs, 1 cup of heavy cream, 4 ounces of cream cheese, softened is best, and then 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese divided, and additional salt is optional. The cooking utensils that you will need for this meal, you'll need a large pan and spatula so that you can brown your ground beef. You will need a cutting board and a knife if you are adding in onion. You will need a measuring cup. You will need a cheese grater if you don't buy pre-shredded cheese, a bowl to shred your cheese into, a large mixing bowl, and a blender or a whisk will also do the trick. And then you will need a greased large casserole dish. There's also the option to cut this recipe in half and use a half-size casserole dish if you're just cooking for yourself or a smaller family. First up is to preheat your oven to 350 degrees and then also grease your baking dish. Something I did not mention in the ingredients list is bacon grease. This is my go-to that I use to grease my baking dish. We got our oven preheating, we got our pan greased. The next thing is going to be to dice up your half of onion, and then we will brown the ground beef, throw in the onion, and also season the beef. All right, we got our beef all browned up, we got the onions mixed in and the taco seasoning. You'll notice I did not drain the beef fat. That is up to you if you want to do it that way. I just leave the fat in there. We want those good fats. And then between that and the juice that the onion creates, I use that to mix in the taco seasoning rather than adding the water that the taco seasoning packet calls for. So of course that's an optional way of doing that. I just have it sitting over here on the stove. The heat is off, but just letting it simmer for a moment while we move on to the next step. Our next step is to get all of our eggs in the big mixing bowl, and we'll mix a few other ingredients in with those eggs. Once you got those eggs whisked up, you will add the cream cheese, the heavy cream, and half of your shredded cheddar. got our heavy cream, our cream cheese, and our cheese all mixed up with those eggs. A quick side note, the softer your cream cheese is, the better it will mix up with the eggs and the other, the cream and the cheese. However, don't worry if there are cream cheese lumps within your mixture. As the casserole bakes, the cheese will melt into the casserole and it will still taste just as good. Next, we are going to add our beef and onion mixture into the egg mixture and get it all mixed up. Then we will pour it into our greased baking dish. Now it's ready to go into the oven, and we will bake it for around 30 minutes or until the eggs are set. And then just before I'm ready to pull it out is when I will put the remaining cheddar cheese on top, let that melt up and get all bubbly, and then we will pull it out of the oven and it will be ready to serve. A couple quick notes while our casserole is in the oven baking up. So you can make this a truly carnivore casserole by just leaving out the onions. You can also, leave out the cheese if you don't want to do cheese. You can lessen the amount of cheese. So this is kind of a casserole that you can tailor it to whatever you want, and you can use this same type of recipe to make various different casseroles. We added the taco seasoning and the onions and ours because we want to make it a taco casserole, but have a little fun with this type of recipe and try out a few different things. We have tried a couple different variations of this casserole and we'll probably try more. I may or may not create more videos on this, but just want you to know that you can try different things and be flexible with this recipe. Another part of this meal that is very customizable is the toppings. So you can serve it without toppings and it's still going to taste wonderful, or you can serve it with whatever toppings you choose. Since we went the route of a taco casserole, I'm going to be serving it with sour cream, salsa, black olives, and chopped up romaine lettuce. Another awesome thing about this meal is it is one that you could easily use for meal prep. You could bake up one of these casseroles, even multiple casseroles, and then cut it into certain portion sizes, and there you have your lunches for the week or even dinners. So keep that in mind if you are a meal prepper. This is a great recipe to add into your rotation. So the eggs are all set. I just put a little bit more shredded cheese on top, popped it back in the oven for just a couple minutes to get that cheese nice and melted, and then it will be ready to go. All right, you guys, there you have it, a Ketovore taco casserole. You can also make it a carnivore version. Well, you guys, thank you so much for bearing with me in my first ever YouTube Cook With Me video. I hope that it wasn't too choppy, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.